students, this is Jessica, aka Miss Drawbond, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use the LASC library website and their databases to find some sources for your research paper. So up until now, when you've been quoting outside sources like articles and things like that, it's been articles that I've provided for you. But for your research paper, you're asked to find your own outside sources. So you're asked to find articles and things like that that can help support the argument that you want to make about the American scandal that you've chosen. Remember that for your research paper, at least some of your resources, or I'm sorry, some of your sources should come from the LASC library databases. So that's why I'm going to show you how to access those. So here I am on the LASC website, lasc.edu. And then here on the home page, there's a little link to click to go to the library. So I'm clicking there. Before we get into the databases, I wanted to quickly kind of highlight a few resources that are available to you. One is this Chat with a Librarian 24/7 live. With this, you can chat with a real librarian any time of day, 24 hours a day. So if it's 2:30 a.m. and you're looking for a source for your research paper and you're feeling really stuck and you can't find something that will support your argument, you can click here and chat with a librarian. You can also call the library. Those are just within specific hours that they're open. And you can email a librarian as well. So those are great resources. Another thing I want to point you to is this research process area of the LASC library website. If you put your cursor over that, you'll see there's a drop-down menu where you can get help with all different steps of the research process, from finding articles to evaluating the sources, trying to decide whether or not they're worth using, and citing your sources as well. So those are great resources that are available to you. For this video, we are going to focus on using the library databases. So to get to the library databases, you're going to click this link on the left here called A to Z List of Library Databases. And that is going to take you to this page, which is literally an A to Z list of the databases that we have access to through the LASC library. So the LASC library pays for students and faculty to have access to these databases so that we can have access to some of the best, most reliable sources when we're doing research. There are lots of different databases, and the databases that you choose to look at it's going to depend on the class you're doing it for and what it is that you're searching for. So if you're a nursing student, your instructor is likely going to tell you to use a database that is related to health and nursing. For our purposes, we're going to be looking for articles about recent events, societal forces, and things like that. We're going to use Academic Search Complete. That's the one I'm going to kind of focus on. But you can see there are some other popular databases listed here on the right side as well. But I'm going to click on Academic Search Complete to get into that database. And it looks something like this. If you are on campus and either using a campus computer or connected to the campus Wi-Fi, it will recognize that you're an LASC student and you won't have to log in. I've already logged in, so it didn't make me log in. If you are at home or off campus, you will have to log in, and there'll be instructions for how to log in on the website when you go to it. It just has to do with using things like your ID number. So you'll just have to log in if you're not on campus. Keep that in mind. All right, so this is the homepage for Academic Search Complete. Before we start to enter a search term, we're actually going to scroll down a little bit and limit our results a little bit. So we have all these different options that we can select or not select. One thing I really recommend selecting always is full text. This will mean they will only show you results for things that you can get the full text of online. You don't have to, drive to another campus or something like that. So I really recommend clicking full text. I also really recommend clicking scholarly peer-reviewed journals. If you click this box, it will limit your search results to just scholarly journals that have been peer-reviewed. And what that means is other experts in the field have reviewed the articles, have reviewed the information and approved it. So you know you're getting really the best, most reliable sources. So I recommend at least starting your search that way with that box checked. Once you've set those two things, you can actually just type in the search term that you're looking for. So I'm going to type in CTE. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the actual, especially that last word. So just for the sake of having a search term to look at, I'm going to look at CTE, assuming I was writing about something related to Gladiator. Of course, we know you guys are not going to write about Gladiator for your research paper. You've already written about that, but I just wanted to show you with a real search term. So you can see when you type in a search term, It'll also prompt you and have all these different recommendations for how you can narrow your search down even more. In this case, I'm going to select CTE in football to see what results that gives me. So then I get to these search results. You can see at the top how many search results you've gotten. In this case, it's pretty limited because I'm looking at something really specific. I've only gotten 2 search results. Likely, when you put in your search term, depending on how broad it is, you'll get a lot of search results. Like I said, in this case, since I limited it to just full text and I limited it to just scholarly journals, and I have a really specific search term, I'm only getting 2 results. Once you get your results, you can start to look at the titles to see if you think that they are relevant to what you're looking for. So this looks like it's related to NFL and CTE. That's definitely something that I'm interested in for my pretend topic. And you can see this other one is called One Hit Too Many, The Moral Responsibility of Football Fandom. So those are both seeming really interesting. I would probably check both of those out if I was doing research. A couple other things you want to be looking at before you even click on any sources is things like the date. So this is from 2013, and actually the second result is also from 2013. Those are fairly recent. I probably would try and find even more recent. We usually try to find within the last 5 years, especially in a topic where it's something related to science, where there are new advancements all the time. So these articles are both from before Aaron Hernandez died. So if I was doing this for real, if I was really doing a research paper on this topic, I would keep looking for more recent articles. But for the sake of time, I'm going to select one of these to show you what you do next. So if you find an article where the title seems relevant, you click on the title and it will take you to more information about the source. You can see the author, the source. This is from the Harvard Kennedy School Review, so a very reputable source. You can also see subject terms that were related. And then one important thing that this will show you is the abstract. An abstract is another word for a summary. It's a short version or a short summary of the article, and you can read the abstract to determine whether or not it's worth reading the entire article. So this can help save you a lot of time. If I read the abstract and I determine, yes, this is worth it, this is relevant to what I'm looking for, then I can go on to read the full text. And to do that, I will click here. Most articles will be available as a PDF full text, and that's really nice because you can save it to your computer, you can print it out if you'd like, but it's really nice to be able to save your sources and have them to access later, even if you're not online. Every once in a while, you'll see one that just says HTML full text, which just means it's going to take you to a website with the full text. But either way, since I selected full text in my search, it will only show me full text articles. So I'm going to click on that. It will take me to the actual full text of the article, and then I can read it and determine what, if anything, I would like to use in my research. And you can see from here, I can do things like download, I can do things like print and things like that. I'm going to go back really quickly to show you one other great feature of these databases of Academic Search Complete, for example. One thing that's really helpful is if you decide to use this article in your research paper, then you would have to make sure that you have it in your Works Cited page. And they will help you with your citation, so you don't have to memorize the format and things like that. You could just click here on the right side of any of these sources. It'll say Cite. You click there, and it'll give you all these different versions of the citation depending on what format you use. Remember that in English we use MLA format, so I would just scroll down till I see MLA, and it will give me the citation that I am ready to copy and paste into my Works Cited page. Now, one caveat is you will still have to make sure that the spacing is good, that it's Times New Roman, font size 12, those sorts of things, but you don't have to worry about, where's the quotation mark go? Does the name of the journal come before or after the title of the article? All of that is already formatted for you really nicely in the database. So that's a really awesome tool that we did not have when I was in college, and we had to look it up in books and do it the old-fashioned way. But I highly encourage you to use these citation tools within the database because it's really helpful. So that's how to access a specific source. You can always go back to your result list by clicking there, result list. And, part of this process of finding sources through the databases is kind of trial and error. You try different search terms, you narrow it down a little, you make it a little more general to see what you get, to see what's working and what's not working. You can read through the article titles to see what's relevant, read through the abstracts and decide which one is worth reading the whole thing. The process of research is sort of a trial and error, like I said, where part of the process is just trying different things, trying different search terms, and seeing what you find. If you were finding that your results were too limited, you weren't getting enough results and they weren't helpful, you could always do something like uncheck the box for scholarly journals. So if I click there, it'll remove that and we can see how many more results. So yeah, it went from having 2 results to 53 results. So if I was in a situation where I just wasn't getting enough sources that were relevant, I can always not check that scholarly journals little box, and it'll open up my search results a little bit. Okay, so that's how you access the Academic Search Complete database through the library website, and happy researching.